Okay.
Well, we're going to get started, and so this is the COI Facilitator Meetup, September 10th, and I thought we would start with some introductions, because we have a brand new facilitator, yay. That's Albara. So how about, we'll start with the facilitators that are here, and then Albara can introduce himself. So Paula and Christine, do you want to, just talk about what SIG COI you're facilitating, or where you are in the country, any information? So Paula, how about you?
Okay. I'm with the solo technical communicator SIG. This is actually, I guess, starting my second year. But I live in Texas, and I work for an education curriculum provider, and I'm the only editor.
We're in Texas, in Austin, or
no, Fort Worth.
Hmm.
The company's actually in Indianapolis, but everybody's working from home still.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm Christine Christensen. I live just north of Salt Lake City, Utah, and I am the co-facilitator for the Women in Tech Com SIG. Liz Herman is my other co-facilitator, so she and I run the group together, and I am a documentation manager for a software company called Trimble.
I think Albara knows Erin, but want to do a quick introduction.
I'll put it on the record. Hello, I'm Erin. I'm the Director of Membership and Community Relations at STC. So I'm your contact for everything on staff. If you have questions about STC or membership or anything about logistics of communities, anything community related, you can go to myself and Marie for help. We'll both pinch it and we work closely together. So anything you need, we are here to help.
Erin is very helpful, and I think you've already contacted her. So yeah, she's also our technical manager for all things Zoom and otherwise, zooming in and zooming out. And for the record, I'm Marie Queeney, and we've talked Albara, and I'm the Community Affairs Committee Chair. And so we have these facilitator meetups just to help. This is basically our second year of a new virtual community group for STC members. So this is just to share ideas and have plans. So I'll let you introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Obawa, and I'm from Saudi Arabia, but I've been living in St. College for 20 years. St. College is nearby Harrisburg in Pennsylvania. That's where I study at Pennsylvania State University. Right now I'm in senior year, and my major is English with a minor technical writing. My professor, his name is Selbert, his last name, told me to join the SCTs, Society for Technical Communication, let's see, several months ago, like May 2021. So I started to join it, and I liked it a lot. I bought some of the courses like TechCom fundamentals, boot camps and stuff, and marketing and so on. And I'm interested in technical editing, accessibility, and so on. And I want to be working with the accessibility SIG because I have multiple disabilities, and yeah, that's part of my goal. I'll be graduating next year and stuff, so we'll see what happens next.
and thank you, Albara.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're really excited. We're always excited to have a new facilitator. And Albara stepped up. And thank you very much. And I hope you don't mind me sharing, but when you said that you have a personal um, connection with accessibility, Albara is blind and he has difficulty hearing. So Albara, please feel free if you don't hear any of us correctly, because I know I'm using my computer audio, or if there's anything that's difficult, please tell us. Because
Yeah.
we're all on a learning curve here. I know I'll speak for myself. I'm on a learning curve, but it's great to have you. And I think you'll add a lot of value to accessibility.
Yeah.
And he's coming at an exciting time because woohoo, we're going to be celebrating our anniversary um, in about 2 weeks. So I think Anne has joined us. So Anne, would you like to introduce yourself to Albara, our new facilitator?
I was just hanging. I was just going to hide out and do other things at the same time.
That's all right.
I'm very happy to meet you, Albara. I have been working with the Accessibility SIG for a long time, and it is extremely helpful to have people on board who actually have various disabilities. The founders had mobility challenges, which led them to be interested in the design of ergonomic workplaces for people who have mobility challenges and those sorts of disabilities. And having someone on board who is using assistive technology to read websites and electronic documents is extremely helpful today. So I'm very happy to meet you.
Mute. So I think we have everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And I did send this out of our beforehand,
Yes.
but I'll also talk to it. Let me bring this over. I'm still learning the ins and outs. And so I'm screen sharing, hopefully. And I'm just going to walk through. We're going to do two things today. We're going to just walk through some of our planning for the anniversary. And then Christine is going to share with us the Women in TechCom survey. Thought that would be interesting, just to see if other facilitators would like to do this and just to see the results. Because even if you don't have time for the survey, you may hear some things that Liz and Christine found out that could help you. So we'll go and do the first things first. Our virtual anniversary celebration. So it is on September 23rd, and it's going to be from 6 o'clock to 7 p.m., and that's Eastern time. And I'm just asking facilitators to log in at 5:45. That way we can do a last minute check to make sure, we will have a rehearsal. But in case you can't make the rehearsal, it's always good, as you know, with technology, right? It's always good to have a last minute check. Also, it's because we want to start right on time because we have a very tight schedule. And I want to make sure that the facilitators have enough time in their breakout rooms to talk about this. So September 15th is going to be a rehearsal. And by rehearsal, I just mean come in. Erin will be our, again, helping out with the technology. So, we'll do a sound check, we'll do a tech check. And also, I think what we've learned in the past is if you're not going to be, you need to use the same equipment for the rehearsal as you are going to use for the event. Because sometimes, if you use brand new tech equipment, we'll have to do the check again. So that's just a little tip that we've learned So what we'll do is you do not have to stay for the entire hour. We will, if you want to come in, have a time, do a quick check. If you'd like to walk through your presentation, you're more than welcome to. If you'd like to practice a little with the breakout rooms, what that's going to be like, we can do that. And I'm thinking, what else, Erin, should people know about for the rehearsal?
I would say just come prepared. Like you said, just have your slides ready that you could just practice putting them up and down. We'll cover some logistics. Can really use the same technology. I would say if you can, I mean, some of you have been a part of other open houses that we've had. Plan to have a couple starter questions maybe for in your rooms, just to start discussion if it gets quiet, you know, just to be able to have a couple things in your back pocket. But for the most part, for the tech rehearsal, it's just to come with what you're going to use. And if you have any questions, if there's something you want to test or try out, we can do it then. And if you can't make the tech rehearsal, but you do want to still have something, just let us know. I can slot you in for extra, 10 minutes or something, just to go over if that time slot just happens to not be good for you, but you need to take advantage of a tech rehearsal. So don't let that inhibit you.
Great, thank you for reminding me on that. Yes, if you want another time, just contact us and we'll put in 10, 15 minutes. And yeah, so for the rehearsal, if it's 10 minutes and that's all you want to do, if it's a 5-minute check, come in, check it out, and then you can leave. Hopefully by the 15th, we'll have Erica's whole slide deck, so we'll just be able to use that. And I'm thinking that it would be easier for probably one person to control the slides, because there's only 2 slides per facilitator, and so then Erin could control that instead of going back and forth. But I think the less things we touch, the better. I've learned that too. So yeah, so are there any questions about the rehearsal time or? Okay. So now I just want to and I just want to mention that this should be fun. It's a time for members to get to know you, get to know the SIG COIs or communities of interest. And so, that's we're taking this in the spirit of that it's going to be informal, but we do want to practice a little, so we have all the little bumps in the road out, and so we can concentrate. So all STC members are going to be invited, and they are being invited right now. So help us promote the event. I think, if you want to post it on your Slack channel, if you want to contact the members outside of the Slack channel and say, hey, this is what we're doing, that would be great. I did put in a notice in the CAC newsletter, and the CAC newsletter, as you know, goes to community leaders, chapter leaders, and SIG leaders. And I said, your members are invited to this, spread the news. Also, Erin is working with our marketing partners, and we've had the first blitz we had in the STC Notebook blog, which goes to all members and which is widely read. So, and I don't know, Erin, if you want to talk about any other STC-wide promotion.
It went out in our newsletter. So our newsletter that goes to all members and prospects and everybody. So that went out this week. It's going to go out this week. So we'll get a bump, and then we'll also do some social media closer to the event itself, so that it's slotted to do that. So it's on our docket for our main marketing. So if you see those pop over, you can also link to those if that's the easiest way, to promote it once you see those come over. One thing I will say that I didn't mention about the rehearsal that I was thinking I might do if it's helpful, but if it's, you guys can let me know. One of the things about this open house, which is great, is it's letting you know about the just letting people know about the SIGs, but it's the start of the membership season, which we're going to talk about within the event itself. So it's a good time for people to renew or join and then pick their new SIG selections. So it's a good time, which is why we did it now. So if there's anything that I can give you membership related that you have questions about, I will be in the main room that you can tell people to come to me for questions. So don't feel confined there. But if there's anything you have questions about membership itself, just you have some sound bites, let me know and I can write something up if it's easier for people to have them in their rooms, just some basic answers to questions about membership, the logistics of it for people signing up. But I'll be there, so you can always send people to me. I'll be in the main space when you guys are in your breakout rooms, just as an aside.
Yeah, no, that's important. Thank you. Because we're not going to have all the answers. And as you know, if anyone has been in any kind of webinar or session, there's always questions. They kind of, and that's fine, to go off topic. So thank you. Yeah, so we are going to be promoting the event. I just put it in Slack too, in the several of the channels. I think the announcements channel, the events channel, but help us promote, within your organization, with your community. And I don't know, I think everyone else knows, but I don't know if Albara knows, we are having a drawing and a raffle for this, and people must be in attendance to win at the point of the raffle. And we're giving away a gold membership, gold STC membership, and that's worth close to $300. And gold membership gives you all kinds of benefits, including membership in every single SIG, COP and COI, and all kinds of other things that nice little perks. So that's definitely an incentive. Also for the SIG COI introduction template, if you haven't sent it to Erica Frensley, who's not here today, she's on vacation, please send it to her. And Albara, as we discussed, because you're brand new, you're just jumping right in here, and that's great. I'm just going to do I'll do the template, and I'll do the introduction part for accessibility SIG, and then you'll be hosting the breakout room. So yeah, so I know we have Liz and Paula's and Christine's slides. So I think everyone here has given their slides. But if you're listening to the recording and you have not submitted your slides, please do, especially before the rehearsal. So we have a full slide deck. And also, I want to mention that you do have the option of having a CAC member come in and assist in your breakout room. And for that, it would be, watching the chat panel, just assisting any way they can if there's any technology issues. And again, Albara, we mentioned that since you are brand new, I will definitely have a CAC member for you assisting. And I know, Christine, I don't know if Liz is going to be able to, I think she said she's going to be at the celebration. So you'll have to, yes?
Last I heard she would be there, but I'll double check with her.
Okay, so even then, if you and Liz want to have time to, to engage with the attendees and not have to worry about chat and the other things, if you, you could think about it, or if you know now, if you would like a CAC member assisting, we can do that. So I'll think that you and Liz are fine. And
I think so. I'll double check with her and just to make sure, and I'll let you know. Okay,
thanks. And Paula, I know that you're solo as solo technical communicator, but I also know that you've been having virtual coffees and you're very in tune with this. So would you like a CAC assistant there, or you're fine?
I think I'm fine. This is pretty much like what we did at Summit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Except we're putting a little promo at the beginning, some elevator speeches.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Thank you. So then we'll just do a walkthrough of the agenda, and then I'll turn it over to Christine. Let me just scroll down here. And these are some housekeeping details. So if I'm repeating things that I know some of you are experienced in this, I apologize for that, but I do want to just set the stage of what you can expect. And Erin, anything I say, if I'm not right about this, please correct me, or if you have another thing that I forgot. And I took some of these housekeeping details from the CAC's leadership program virtual leadership program that we had. And that was like a 2-hour program, so we were very detailed. So for the attendees, Erin will place everyone on mute so we don't have any background noise. And this is for the presentation segment. So the presentation segment will go for the first half hour. I will ask attendees to turn off their video for the presentation portion. And we will encourage attendees to use the chat. And I will remind attendees, also remind facilitators, that if you do decide to save the chat discussion, or if we decide to save it, Zoom includes private discussions in the transcript. So as you know, you can do a direct message to someone, but when the transcript comes, it's all there. So we just like to give full disclosure to people. And we will be recording the presentation segment. So we'll be recording the first half hour, so people who are not able to attend will know about all the SIG COIs, and it'll be a nice continuation, really education for people. We will not record the breakout sessions, as they're mostly discussion, and it's really not valuable. Again, Paula said, just like the Summit Open House. Now for the facilitators, I'm just going to say, please stay on mute. This is the presentation section again, when you're not presenting. We did that with the leadership program. We found worked out well. And I'm saying keep your video off when you're not presenting. But when you do your 2-minute elevator speech, the video is optional. I'm thinking it would be good for you to come on, so then people have that connection. And so when they come into the breakout room, they know who you are, but it's optional. I know a lot of people have problems with bandwidth, and I think Grant might be even traveling during this time. So it's optional, but recommended. And also, if you could provide us with a phone number as a backup in case we have technical problems during the meetup. I do ask for this when we do our webinars, because if something goes wonky and your computer goes off or something, you might have to contact us via phone. And so now
that isn't distributed to anyone outside of the group, to members, nothing.
Thank you. Yeah, so the phone number, once we get this, it would just be for Erin and me. And so I thought, now, instead of putting it in email, it will be even more secure. If you want to give me how we could connect with you, just in case, it's always good to have a backup. So let's see, I'll just start with Christine. Do you have
my phone number?
Yeah.
Yes, it's 435-650-0704.
Okay, so I have 435-650-0704.
Yep.
Okay, Paula?
682-234-5367.
I have 682-234-5367.
That's it.
Okay. Let's see, Barbara?
814-777-5877.
I have 814-777-5877.
Yep.
Okay, good. And since you won't be presenting, we don't need, we don't need your phone number.
But I think you have it because I think it's in your phone.
Oh, okay.
Because you
And
and I
I was-
had talked the other day, and if you do need it for the usability and user experience, if anything happens and for some reason you don't have Heather's. So if you want to put it on your list, it's 315-406-7877.
Okay, so I have 315-406-7877.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And because I was going to say, if you have difficulties, then I know that you're going to be a supporter and an attendee, but then, during the thing, you would be able just to contact Erin on there. Okay, I'm just more concerned about people who have to present, like if we can't hear them or their video goes off. But no, thanks for that number.
And Heather is taking care of usability and user experience. And we talked about you're going to take care of academic because we want to have me not just take care of something for such a long period of time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
should anything happen with Heather, then I would take care of usability.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and Anna's been a long time facilitator and leader in several of the SIGs. So we thank you for that. Now for the CAC members, I won't go into this because they're not here, but they kind of have the same rules. And now for the breakout rooms, there will be a 20-minute session. And so the session just like the leadership program, the session and the open house will automatically end at 20 minutes. And it will send participants back to the main Zoom room. So for the attendees, during the presentation, I will provide a list of the breakout rooms and the instructions as part of the webinar meetup. And if attendees have problems joining the room, Erin is going to be assisting them. So Erin is going to stay, I guess, when we call the main Zoom room, and she'll be there. So even if you have issues, you can send them to her. Now, sometimes this is a common question, and I think it happened with the Summit Open House. Attendees, they'll say, well, can I go to another facilitator room? Yes, they can. So attendees may change rooms during the 20-minute session. There's going to be here some people who, are new to Zoom rooms. And attendees have the option of using video if they want. Some people don't want to be on video. They may be at work during the different time differences or bandwidth. And I also should mention that when we do transition in, Erin will be available to assist people who have to be manually added because there are updates to Zoom. And unfortunately, there's something with Zoom that they don't give this to everyone. There's some sort of catch. So we could have people on different versions. So she's going to help us with that. So you don't have to be concerned about that. You can be concentrating on the people coming in to chat with you. So just for facilitators, you just want to reintroduce yourself because we could have people coming in 10 minutes, 15 minutes late. They might just come in for the breakout rooms and they may not know who you are. And so just, give a little blurb again about your SIG. And just, we found helpful when we did our leadership to just describe how you will host your session. So for example, you might say, I'm just going to give you some information about my accessibility SIG COI or my Women in TechCom SIG COI. and then we'll talk. Or you might just want to open it up and say, just have a moderated, real flexible, informal discussion and say, let everybody introduce yourselves. Depending on the number of attendees, that could work. And then let them ask questions about it. So you have an idea of what you want to do, I'm sure. And those are just some suggestions. There's not one way to do this. So I just want to clarify that. It's the way you feel comfortable with. This is an informal session, so slides are not required. But if you do plan to use slides, I think it would be good to forward a copy to Erin just in case. Again, you don't need the slides. Some people like them as talking points. And as Erin mentioned, it is helpful to have several starter questions to get the conversation started. We found even with the leadership program, people say, yeah, people were kind of quiet at the beginning, but then they warmed up. So you want to make sure that you get people engaged quickly. And Erin will schedule a broadcast message, and this broadcast message will pop up 10 minutes and then I think 3 minutes prior to the end of the session. And so the 3-minute warning, if you want to call it that, is a signal to begin wrapping up. And that will automatically come up for you, so you don't have to keep track of the time. And for those of you who might have a CAC facilitator with you, they'll help you also keep track of the time. And if anything, I would just say again, this is for your SIG COI. You know what you want to do, what you want to discuss. Might be a good time if you're looking for a co-facilitator, or if you're looking for people to become more active, or just asking, hey, what do you want? And I should mention, before we go on, that this is 20 minutes, and you might be surprised, wow, 20 minutes is a long time. But when we had the Summit Open House, it went pretty quickly, the time. So please know, this is not the end. So if you want to talk about, during your 20-minute session, you've got this great conversation going on, say, okay, we're going to be stopping now, but in the future, maybe this month or maybe in October, I'm going to schedule a meetup. And we're going to meet up again, and this time will just be for our SIG COI. And Erin can help you with that. So please know that this is really just the beginning of a conversation. If you find people are really engaged, have a lot of questions, Erin can be the technical manager for a future Zoom meetup. And I know Paula does that for her coffees. Just schedule with Erin directly, and you can work on that. Also, just as a reminder, if you want to save the chat, just remember to save it at the end. You might want to just review it, see what people said that can be saved. And so, Erin, do you want to add anything to this?
No, I think you've pretty much covered everything. I mean, it's just some good tips. And once you're in the space for the tech rehearsal, if you need to see where to save the chat and all that, if you're not quite sure where to go, we can help with all of that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'll send something out for that. It's 3 buttons. So this is going to do a real quick walkthrough of what you can expect. And then we'll turn it over to Christine. So here is it, 10 minutes. We'll probably start at 6:01, but we can't wait for the stragglers. We're going to have to start. I'll do a welcome in the agenda, and I'll just do a high-level description of the SIGs and SIG COIs. A lot of people, if they're not involved, they really don't know what the virtual groups are. And just some highlights of the year, when we started, our Slack membership, and how people can enroll. Then Erin, in addition to in part of the 10 minutes, she'll center on the STC focus, which is and the membership focus, as she mentioned, and I guess how to join a SIG COI. And then for 20 minutes, we'll have our facilitators do their elevator speech. You'll briefly introduce the COIs to attendees, and I have to emphasize it has to be 2 minutes per facilitator, no more. You can go less if you want. Don't say, well, I've got to speak for 2 minutes because they gave us 2 minutes. But it's important because you can see how many people we have to talk. This is just intended to be an introduction, almost like a teaser into, hey, this is the group. You're interested in knowing more about this topic, you'll know in 20 minutes, we'll have that. So I do have it in this order, and Paula will start us off with solo technical communicator. Then we have agile usability. Then Liz and Christine with women in tech comm, and Heidi and John with health and medicine. And then I'm going to pull up and do the SIGCOIs where the facilitators will not be there. And since Abara is brand new, I don't want to throw you into that and say, okay, talk all about the SIG, So I'll do that, and then you'll do the personal touch. And then for 2 to 3 minutes, because it should go quickly, we'll talk about the breakout room instructions. And I'm just going to take them from our leadership program, which the instructions it helped well. And then each of you will be in a room. And Erin, this is how I arranged I'm calling them rooms, if that's, I don't know. Yeah.
You can call them whatever. Yeah, they're called breakout rooms in the Zoom. So yeah, it works.
And I think this would come up, right? I don't know if there'd be enough room for, say, the facilitator and the SIG, or if we just can say
there isn't, but I'll figure it out. I'll play with it.
I think we could probably, it's more important probably to know about the SIG, so I can rearrange this to say SIG first and put in parentheses who it is, and then when people see it, because they're going to see, as you know, if you've used this before, they're going to see almost like a list, and they can choose who they want to go to first and second. And then Erin will be there in the main room to manage the transition, manually add people, because that will probably happen, and do any troubleshooting. So if you have someone that says during the breakout, I can't hear you, or I'm having trouble hearing the other attendees, or just say, please return to the main room, and Erin will help you. And then you could just shoot an email to Erin saying, someone's coming to ask. So, because you won't really be able to help them in your breakout rooms. And Erin will be our technology guru there. Then 20 minutes, you have your time. You'll have a breakout room, answer questions, have an informal conversation. And then we will all return to the main Zoom room, where for the last 5 minutes, we will have our raffle. So people do have to come to your to the breakout rooms to get this chance at a grand prize. They can't just come at the beginning and check out. The raffle drawing, and by the way, for those of you who have not heard, all the facilitators who are participating are eligible for this award, okay? Because you are attending, and so you all have the opportunity perhaps to win a gold membership. Then we just do a thank you and wrap up. And if you'd like to then turn on your videos as we do the raffle drawing and things, that's optional. So that's kind of like the lay of the land here. And so are there any questions? All right. So now I'm going to stop sharing. And of course, if you have any other questions, because things pop up afterwards, and say, oh, I wonder if I should do this, or I'd like to do such and such, please contact us, okay? So this is just kind of trying to give you the lay of the land. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Christine. And Christine, I don't know if you need to share.
Yeah, I'll share my screen. Can you see my slides now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So earlier this year, Liz Herman and I were the co-facilitators for the Women in Tech Com SIG. And earlier this year, we did a survey of all of our members to find out what they're looking for, what their expectations are for this group. And that information then Liz and I would use to kind of plan out our year. So first, a bit about the survey. It was open for just under 3 months, and we advertised it by emailing our members directly. And then also we posted about it in the Slack channel for the Women in Tech Com SIG. And we had 26 people reply to the survey. And we built it in SurveyMonkey. Liz Herman actually did all the work on setting that up. And she's familiar with SurveyMonkey and had an account for it. If you don't, though, Google Forms is another good option for doing surveys, and I'm sure there are other platforms out there as well. So the reason why we decided to do it, Women in TechCom is a diverse group, and so we wanted to learn what our members are interested in, and then we also wanted to get ideas for programs because Women in TechCom is such a broad category that there's a lot of different directions we could go. So we wanted to get ideas from the members on what they want to see from this group. And then it was also a way to kind of kick off our new year and re-engage with the group because there recently hadn't been a lot of activity with the group. And so we thought that that would be a good way to kind of get everybody's attention back and kick off our new year. So the first survey question, this was an open-ended question, so participants could type in whatever they wanted. And we asked about the topics that they're interested in. So in the results in SurveyMonkey, we could see all of the 26 responses, but this here is a word cloud that shows you the most common words that were used in all of the responses that we got. So there was a lot of interest in professional development, leadership, also people new to the field who are kind of trying to figure out how to navigate like that first job interview or settling into a new role. And then networking as well was another popular topic. And then the next question we asked about the type of event that people are interested in. So the most popular was like a micro event, almost like a 30-minute lightning talk, followed closely by professional development webinars and networking events as well. And there was a little bit of interest in maybe doing a book club and some more social events as well. And then we asked about the day of the week because we want to make sure that we hold our events at a date and time that work for as many people as possible. So you can see here, Thursday was the most popular day, followed closely by Tuesday. We did not, Liz and I decided not to include Sunday because we figured that's a day that people set aside for other things. But we put in Saturday just to see if there would be any interest. And as you can see, that Saturday was by far the lowest. So it's kind of what I expected, but it was still just good to ask to see if there would be interest in something on a Saturday. And then we asked about the time of day that would work for everybody because we have members from all over the US and then even a few international members as well. And so you all know you put a lot of work into planning events for your group. And so you want to have it at a time that works for the most people. So we also asked about that. And then finally, we asked about the frequency of events. So this was to help Liz and I decide how often we should have any kind of event. And you can see here that by far monthly was the most popular option. So since the two biggest areas of interest are professional development opportunities and then also networking, Liz and I are thinking we'll do a monthly event and alternate 1 month is networking or something more social. And then the next month we'll follow it up with something related to a professional development topic. And then we asked if they are aware that we have a Slack channel for the Women in Tech Com SIG that's in the STC Slack community. So 57% said yes, and 42% said no. So that's an opportunity that Liz and I have to bring some awareness to the Slack channel and point people to that resource. And then we ended it with asking, is there anything else you want to share? So this question was just a way to capture anything that we didn't already cover with our questions. And again, it was open-ended, so the participants could type in whatever they wanted. So then to wrap up the survey, we had our first meeting this year where we shared the survey results. And that was a really good meeting. A lot of people were interested in seeing the results. And then we opened it up for discussion, for input from anybody else who wasn't able to do the survey. And Liz and I were jotting down all the feedback to get ideas for programs for this coming year. And then we shared with the group our plans. So we want to follow up with a Slack tutorial because we did get a couple questions about Slack actually in that meeting. So we wanted to follow up with that and try to drive more people to join that community. And then we shared with the group that we would start to plan out programs every month for based on the feedback we got from the survey and through that meeting. So it was really helpful to do that survey because we were able to get guidance from our members on what they want to see, what they're interested in. And then, like I said, hopefully plan our events for dates and times that we can get the most participation possible. And I also think that it was really helpful to show our members that we are interested in hearing from them. We want to know what they're interested in, and we want to provide them with meaningful events and meaningful content. So I think that was a good, doing the survey was a good way to show our members that we care about what you want to see from this group and we want to hear from you. So any questions on that?
Well, while people are thinking, I'm never at a loss for questions.
Looks great though.
First of all, yeah, I want to say that was such a thorough question. And I like it because it was so focused. Like, you know, sometimes people have survey fatigue, but it got right to the point and it just zeroed in on exactly, you know, to help you. So, you know, I think that would be good, that even for people who wanted to just ask questions here's my infomercial at the meetup. Maybe you could say, well, these are some survey questions. These are some great starter questions. And so that's, maybe we'll kind of jot those down and include them in the minutes and say, this was part of Christine and Liz's survey. But by the way, if you're looking for some starter questions, no, so this was very good. FYI, we are planning a Slack a webinar as part of the CAC, and it's going to be Grant, and he did one for the STC leadership, something about how know Slack, it's kind of tips and techniques. And so, you know, I just want to, you could still do the tutorial, that's fine, or do more one-on-one, but I just want, you know, you to know that, you know, maybe save you some work, that we're hopefully, we're going to be, the CAC is going to be planning our monthly meetings are on the second Monday of the month, and we're hoping to plan out at least until the end of December or webinars. So it might be October, might be November, but that's a time frame. So I'm not stopping you from doing anything that you want to do, but just know that you don't, you know, have to spend time on that. But no, this was good. So while people are kind of thinking about this, was there anything, Christine, that really surprised you in Liz about the responses, or?
I'm sorry.
I don't think there were too many surprises. One that was kind of I had to think about it for a minute. It was someone who commented on, like, if you're the only technical writer at your company, how do you find like camaraderie or feel like you're part of the team when you work solo? And I've always been on a big team of technical writers, and it's not something I'd ever thought about. And so that was one that kind of caught me by surprise. But I would say the rest seemed like what we expected: professional development, growing your career, leadership opportunities. Those were kind of things that I suspected we would get feedback for.
Okay. And I found it interesting the time that people wanted. So, you know, when I saw that, I thought, oh, most people are going to want after work, but no, it was kind of in the lunch time period. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
And that might be something, Erin, for us to consider with CAC. I know we do. We try to have some in the afternoon, some in the evening. We try to help it please everyone, but you know,
And some people just wanting to keep work stuff during the workday and keep their evenings to themselves too.
yeah. So that's something for us to consider. Maybe keep it in the mix. Okay. All right. Well, thanks. That was very helpful, and I think we're recording this so people will actually see your slides and hear what you've done. So thank you for sharing that. And I think if you have questions for Christine, like if you tried, you know, wanted to do some things on that, I'm sure you and Liz are available, right, to help anyone out.
Yeah, I'd be happy to help and happy to share my slides if anybody wanted to see them.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yes,
thank you.
yes, please.
So I think, Albera, did you say you would like to share the slide? You would like to see the slides?
Slide, yes.
Okay. Could you send Albera the slides? And could you send them to me too?
Yes, I will.
I have a question. What's the difference between Survey Monkey and Google Form? They're both part of a survey platform, but how different?
That's a good question. And I haven't used SurveyMonkey for a few years, so I can't speak on that side so well, but they're both, I feel like they're pretty similar. Has anyone used SurveyMonkey that could comment on, is it pretty similar to Google Forms?
Yeah, I guess I will say that I believe one difference is I believe you used the paid version, right? You had the professional version of SurveyMonkey.
Yeah, Liz had a license for it.
Yeah, because I found that the CAC has a free version of SurveyMonkey, and there's good news and bad news. The good news is if you're using a free version of SurveyMonkey, you can ask all the questions in the world you want, but the results only, I think it's kept to 20 people, or they definitely cut off what results you see.
Right.
So
Okay.
when we saw that, it's like, oh, so when we did our professional tools survey, Jamie Sagan's, I think her chapter has a professional, just like Liz has a professional SurveyMonkey. So that would be, I really haven't used both enough. I think perhaps SurveyMonkey has more options to it, it seems.
It does.
But, because that's what it does. And
that's what its main function is, but it's all about the details of what exactly you're trying to get, which is the differences between some of the platforms, unfortunately.
Yeah. So the main concern I would have is if you're thinking about doing a survey, read the look at the fine print for the free versions of exactly what you can get. Because I was already with SurveyMonkey for something, and then I looked and said, well, let me read what exactly. I was more concerned about the number of questions we could ask. And then all of a sudden I saw, well, no, you're only going to get 20 responses. After that, you'll have no idea unless you pay. It's like ransomware or something. So then I went to Google Forms. So I think it's like I said, it's probably what Erin said and Christine is like what you're looking for. Both things will probably get you there, but if you want like more, how should we say, more flexibility, it's probably SurveyMonkey gives you kind of more options.
SurveyMonkey will crunch your data differently because it's all about surveying, but Google Forms, you know, if you're just using it for a basic survey every once in a while, it can be used for that. In Google Forms, you can use it also for other things, maybe your group might do. So outside of just surveying. So
yeah. And
Okay.
I think
just something to think about too.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good question. But yeah, you just have to be careful of what, when they say free, of what you're actually getting. All right. Well, we're leaving 5 minutes early. Isn't that great for a Friday? Thank you so much for coming in on a Friday. Everybody have a good weekend. And thank you for joining today. And welcome, Albara. And we'll see you either on the 15th, everybody, or the 23rd. So everybody have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.